Hello, fellow Malaysians. I'm sure you are all aware about the upcoming election that is just around the corner. But perhaps some of you might still be confused or unclear on the election process in Malaysia, especially for first-time voters or candidates intending to contest. You might have questions like, what should I do? Or what should I not do in an election? Am I eligible to be candidate? And so on. So save your Google search. This video will make your life easier and your election experience smoother, as we will summarize your rights, the do's and don'ts in an election. But sabar! Before we dive into the procedural stuffs, let's hear 4 fun facts about Malaysia's election that you might know or not know. So first, Malaysia maintains a multi-party political system where a political party that secures the majority of seats in the Dewan Rakyat or the State Legislative Assembly will have the right to establish a federal state government. Second, the electoral system in Malaysia is based on first-past-the-post system, which originated from the British. This means a candidate who secures the majority of votes will be declared as winners in the relevant constituencies. Third, there are 2 types of elections in Malaysia, which are the general elections or by-elections. And lastly, there are several laws and regulations relating to elections, such as the Federal Constitution, Akta Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya, Akta Pilihan Raya, Akta Kesalahan Pilihan Raya, Peraturan-Peraturan Pilihan Raya such as the Perjalanan Pilihan Raya, Pendaftaran Pemilih, and Pengundian Pos. So, if you want to do further reading, you can go to the nearest bookstore to buy the acts and regulations, along with this reference book titled Pilihan Raya Demokrasi Malaysia by Abdul Rashid Abdul Rahman and G. Manimaran. Since election is a big deal, so which body has the power to conduct elections in Malaysia? Can it just be any governmental or private body? So the answer is no. The power to conduct election derives from Article 113 of the Federal Constitution, which states that the Election Commission is the body which has the power to conduct elections in Malaysia. As such, the Election Commission was established on 4 September 1957 for many purposes, including conducting elections, setting up of state election offices within states in Malaysia, appointing election commission officers for each election division, and others. To start off and to give you a picture of the flow, the election process will basically start on the dissolution of Parliament or State Assembly, and then once dissolved, the elections are to be held within 60 days after the date of the dissolution. Afterwards, the Election Commission's internal meeting will be held, and following with the rest, which is the writ issuance by the Election Commission, the nomination of candidates, the election campaigns, the voting, the official submission of votes, the announcement of election results, and the petition proceedings by the court, if any. So do remember that these are only the simplified process. There are further detailed procedural steps in between. So before we explain in detail on the processes of election, please remember these things. You must not do anything that is against the election regulations and laws before, during, and even after the election period. This includes buying and selling of ballot papers, printing out the ballot papers, printing out posters that looks like a ballot paper, disguising as a registered voter, bribery, penjamuan, and others. Wait, so hold up, what is a penjamuan? So Section 8 of the Election Offences Act lists out a long list of examples of jamuan, which include indirectly or directly belanja orang minum ataupun makan to influence that person to vote for the candidate. So ayo, you better be careful on this one. Keep your Offences Act close with you, candidates. And if you're an election officer, staff, candidate, election agent, or anyone who is involved in the election process, you must keep confidential about the internal election matters, such as things that is related to ballot papers. So now you know that the Parliament or State Assembly has to be dissolved first before the election can actually take place. So what's next? After the dissolution, The election officer will issue a writ in the Government Gazette, whereby the writ contains the relevant details regarding the nomination day, including the nomination date and nomination place for potential candidates to submit their nomination papers for the election. Whoa, we gotta slow down. That's quite a lot of information to digest. So we'll wrap this as a part 1 as of now. But we've actually covered quite a lot. The election powers, election overview process, obligations throughout election, and issuance of writ. Guys, I promise you we're halfway done already. We'll see you in part 2. Bye!